Guten Nachmittag, Rowan-Klasse. Heute ist Mittwoch, den 20. Januar 2021. So, good afternoon, Year 4. It's Wednesday, it's the 20th of January, and it's your German lesson again. Really excited to do another lesson for you, following on from our lesson last week. I hope that everyone is okay. I hope everyone is enjoying their home learning and been able to send things in to Mr. Arnold. And this afternoon, we're going to carry on from what we were doing in our last lesson last week. And I know that some people have been able to send in some work, and we're going to be carry on to think about those things we were thinking about last week in terms of birthdays and about numbers, and to review some of those words about clothing as well. So please again just bear with me this afternoon as I try to sort out the different screens, so just please be patient as I'm showing you things, and just make sure that you are somewhere as well in your house that you can hear me okay, and that maybe you've got some pen and some paper or something that you can jot down some notes as you're going as well. And there'll be opportunities in our video this afternoon for you to be able to respond to what I'm saying, and you can practice some of the language as we're doing it. So just going to begin with sharing part of my screen with you. So let's just bring it up. Okay, and you should be able to see that screen in front of you. So as I said, heute, today, heute ist Mittwoch, den 20. Januar 2021. So Wednesday, the 20th of January. And what we're learning today, to know the names of items of clothing, and I think you should know them all really well by now. Also that we are learning to express your age, and again we started to do that last week, and knowing our numbers at least up to 12, and I think some of us can probably do even more than that as well. So I'm going to stop this screen and I'm going to go back to another screen as well, just for a recap of some language before we get going with the things that I'm going to do today. So again, just bear with me for a minute. Okay, so you should be able to see on my screen here, you've got our knowledge organizer, and this was for the Kleidung, which were the clothes. So I'm just going to enlarge it just to make it easier to see, but we should be really familiar now with these objects on the screen. So with me, you can repeat it. Die Hose, which are the trousers. Der Pullover, the jumper. Die Jacke, the jacket. Der Schal, scarf. Das Kleid, dress. Der Rock, skirt. Der Hut, hat. Die Schuhe, shoes. Die Socken, socks. Das T-shirt, t-shirt. Die Handschuhe, gloves. Remember what we said about Handschuhe, Handschuhe meaning shoes. They are shoes for your hands, so they are gloves. Der Mantel is a coat. Die Stiefel, boots. Das Hemd, being a shirt, and die Bluse for a blouse as well. So those were the main names for clothes that we had, and we're going to practice those as we go. So I'm going to stop sharing that screen, and hopefully I can now share with you as well. If I go back to our PowerPoint that we had. Okay, so that was back to our learning intentions, and then we haven't seen Felix and Franzi for a little while, so we're just going to have a quick recap of helping Felix and Franzi take the clothes off of the washing line and place them into the suitcase. They're going to appear in there, and I want you to have a go at trying to say what that item of clothing is that we've put in the suitcase. So was ist das? Was ist das? Das ist der Rock. Der Rock. And the dress. Okay. Was ist das? Was ist das? Der Pullover. Der Pullover. Was ist das? Die Schuhe. Die Schuhe. Was ist das? Das ist der Schal. Der Schal. Was ist das? Das ist die Hose. Was ist das? Das ist die Jacke. Die Jacke. Was ist das? Das ist die Jacke. Und was ist das? Das ist der Hut. Ja, gut. Last time as well, in our last lesson, we also practiced singing a little bit of the Happy Birthday song Auf Deutsch as well. And I wonder if you can remember how to sing it and how to say it to pronunciation as well. Because it is Franzi's birthday and we are going to sing Happy Birthday to her. So I'm going to have a go first of all. You can join in and then maybe you can have a go as well and pause it. So, zum Geburtstag will Glück. Zum Geburtstag will Glück, zum Geburtstag, liebe Franzi, zum Geburtstag will Glück. Were you able to join in with that? So, on top of the cake, die Kuka, we have die Kerzen, the candles. Wonder wie viele Kerzen brauchen wir? How many candles do we need? Wie viele Kerzen brauchen wir? Let's see if we can have a little count there. How many can you see? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. Wie alt ist Franzi? Franzi ist 8 Jahre alt. So, just before we carry on there, I am now going to share with you another part of the screen. And we're going to go back to one of the other knowledge organisers that we did as well. So I'm sharing you with this as well. And on this one, you will see the numbers. Just as a quick practice to go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 0. Just remember that 12, the O has the umlauts on top, giving it that U sound, 12. Good. And we had, wie alt bist du? How old are you? Ich bin. And ich bin Jahre alt, and you put in however old you are, ich bin Jahre alt. So let me stop sharing that. Oh, just before we go on, just to remember, der Kuchen, cake, die Kerzen are the candles, okay? And das Geschenk is present as well, and der Geburtstag is obviously birthday. So I'm going to stop sharing that screen, and I'm now going to go back to sharing our PowerPoint as well, so we can go back to doing some work with the candles. So this one is okay, and you should have been able to see this one on the screen. And if I put it here, so drag the right amount of candles onto the birthday cake, and whilst you do this, count out loud in German. So come on then with me, count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ja, Franzi ist 8 Jahre alt. Wie alt ist Franzi? Franzi ist 8 Jahre alt. Good. So, wie viele Kerzen brauchen wir? And that was a question I asked you a minute ago, if you remember. How many candles do we need? You just see, I've just put the number 7 there, 7, and my job is I want to show you the number, and I want your job to be to say that number in German for me. Okay, and you can do that. I won't be able to hear you do that. You should be able to shout them out easily at home. So, das war 7. Das war 7. That was 7. Und was war das? 9. 9. 9. Und 1. 2. 8. 5. 3. That's what quick. 10. 4. 6. Good. That was quite quick for you as well, so maybe need some more practice on that this week. So my takeaway task for today for all of you, please. We have all been learning wie alt bist du? How old are you? And you can all reply with ich bin Jahre alt and put in however old you are. And just also a phrase that you might also use is ist Jahre alt. So you might say, you know, your friend's name could be James. James ist Jahre alt. So James is this old. So in today's task, I want you to be able to send in, whether you send that via a video or whether you send it via email into Mr. Arnold, I don't mind. Oh, and we have a mistake on the screen. And again, like last week, I am going to make sure I change that as we go to make sure it is right. And let's go back to it now. I want you to send in via video or via email you expressing how old members of your family are. So I want you to use the sentence frames below to help you with your speaking or your writing. Remember, I don't mind how you do that. You could choose to ask and say your sentences here, and you could have them recorded on a phone or an iPad and you could just send them in, or you could choose to write out these as well. So for example, meine Mutter ist Jahre alt. Meine Mutter ist Jahre alt. Now there's a bit of a challenge in here for you as well, because I'm going to think that we've probably only done numbers up to 20. Some of us might have done numbers a bit more than that, but I think that most people's mums or dads or people who look after them are going to be older than 20. So you might need to do some research for what is that number in German. Okay, that's my challenge there if you choose to do mums and dads or grandparents if they live with you as well. Mein Vater, my dad, my father, ist Jahre alt. Mein Bruder, my brother, ist Jahre alt. Meine Schwester, my sister, ist Jahre alt. Meine Haustier ist Jahre alt. Haustier, do you remember? My pet. Okay, so you might have pets and they might be however old they may be as well. So you could send in a video, as I said, of you speaking these sentences and telling me how old members of your family are, or you could choose to write them down and email them in, or take a picture of your writing and send it in to Mr. Arnold. So that's your task for today. And remember, my challenge is, can you do that for your mum or dad or anyone who is maybe older than 20 in your household? How are you going to say their ages in German? And just remember, you can't write the number in here, okay? I want you to actually write out what that number is using words as well. So I'm going to stop there. I hope you've enjoyed today's lesson. Let's see what you can send in. I look forward to seeing the ages of your families and you speaking those sentences or writing them down. And I'll see you for next week's lesson. Thank you very much, you fool. Auf Wiedersehen. Tschüss.